Hey, I'm Lee, and I just wanted to make a quick trailer, let you guys know a little about me and what you might expect to see on my YouTube channel. This is actually my second channel. If you've watched me before, and apparently I did not understand how to transfer my old content to the new channel properly, but I rise to the challenge, and I'm sure there's plenty of action out there and new things to film. So our main goal here is auditing officers, but we do some shows, and I have I believe I had a recent arrest, and I believe my civil rights were violated, and I was roughed up, a little excessive force going on. I was denied a phone call over 12 hours for a disorderly and a public intoxication. I was not intoxicated, and I was not disorderly. I obeyed every command I was given, even if it wasn't lawful. Okay, and a lot of people are going to think I'm doing this because I hate the cops. We don't hate the cops, quite to the contrary. In fact, these men and women do an ugly, unpleasant task as first response and public servants. But it's the peace officer part that they don't seem to have a real good grip on. It's corruption that my channel's looking at, and a lot of these guys don't even realize what they're doing. But that's, as they say, ignorance of the law is not a good excuse, not at all. So, here at Loudoun County Cop Watchers, we target one of the worst problems plaguing our law enforcement right now. We're focusing on the small towns, specifically my town, but there's a lot of other auditors out there that are helping out with this movement in the other small towns and whatnot. And what we're looking at are these petty tyrants. I mean, those that think the badge is a crown, and got all these petty, officious demands, commands that he speaks as though his very own word were the law. And regardless of what you've read in the Constitution, he knows what he's doing. And these are people, I don't know if they just forgot or what, but they took an oath to protect and defend my rights and your rights, and not theirs. They didn't take an oath to defend their own rights. But, I understand everybody tries to defend their own rights, but as a peace officer, it's largely misunderstood, and that's why I urge the representatives of this fine state of Tennessee, and by the way, I'm going to throw this in. I didn't write this down, so this one's coming from the heart. Thank you, Governor Bill Lee, for giving us our guns back. That was a brave move on your behalf, and I look for more out of you in the near future, specifically on the medical marijuana bills and things like that. There's a lot of people that are being criminalized that are not criminals. A lot. Not just a few. Anyway, let's get back to this. I digress. I also urge our representatives to repeal or abolish laws that protect anyone from being held responsible for their actions, especially those who have sworn to protect and taken an oath, and our public servants. I would also ask our lawmakers to require an associate's degree in criminal science or an equivalent in other law training, at least, because these men and women have the power over our very freedom in their hand. This is a serious, serious thing. And also, I would urge you to require mandatory psych evaluations yearly. Extensive beforehand, kind of like how Oak Ridge does out here for the if you want to be an employee in Oak Ridge, they don't just take the application's word for it. They go out and ask people. You think this guy does well? Go out in the field, ask people he's dealt with, let him be judged by his peers. Let's see. A lot of people don't understand, you see, we don't have any criminal affairs, or internal affairs, I'm sorry. And if you want to file a complaint somewhere like Loudoun County, you're required to sit down with the ranking officer. Depends on what time you go by there, but usually, I know in the North City, they want you to sit with the chief of police, and I'm not sure in Loudoun County. I haven't actually tried to walk in and do one yet. To be honest with you, it scares me to death. I've got PTSD already. And now you're talking about the very people that are supposed to be serving and protecting you. You can't trust them either. I don't know what to do, but anyway, you will be required to, if I want to file a complaint, I'm certain I'll be required to sit with another officer in an extremely intimidating interview where I'm condescended and probably questioned. Oh, now did it really happen like that? And who knows what he's writing down? I want to fill the form out, And so that's why I'm asking the governor and other people, our representatives, to take a look at this, because I believe it's a federal regulation to have these forms out where people can get them without even having to ask. Yeah, that's just kind of crazy how they do things here. The twilight zone of the judicial system, I've heard my county called. Okay, this is what I want to do for my community, and what I want to give them, since nobody else seems to want to step up and do this. Is some oversight, a place that at least takes the Constitution and police work seriously, and to establish some place that complaints are taken seriously. And I'm talking to you officers too. I know you don't have nobody to go to. I'm not going to out you. Let's work together. If you've got a problem, come to us. Come to me. I'll at least listen, and I won't out you. Yeah, I understand the stakes in this, and I won't out you. We'll figure it out, but at least somebody else will know what really happened. The war on drugs is over, and we need to transition, from these law enforcement officers back to peace officers. I wear this hat to remind people, one of the most miserable failures, one of the most worst battles of the war on drugs was this DARE program. I remember being in high school, and they had those little boxes that any of y'all around my age remember. They had that little suitcase looking thing, and they'd open it up, and it had that really hard plastic cover, because they knew right away some kid will try to get it. Anyway, they'd bring this around and show it to kids. Man, that's how I learned what some of the first drugs looked like. What I learned to look for. You know what I mean? Was taught by the police. Ridiculous. It's time to adopt a new way, and it's time that we get back to being the public servants and peace officers And I also believe, I'm going to add this note too, because I have seen a few officers lately with different types of facial hair, and of course most of them always have a high and tight hairdo if they have hair at all. But tattoos, I've seen a couple of cops with full sleeves, and man, if a cop reached out to grab a hold of me that had a full sleeve like that, I don't know about y'all, but I'm thinking, where did this guy steal or buy his cop uniform at? Because they're relatively easy to obtain, and you just don't expect to see that, or I don't anyway. And I'm from the South. You know, they say we're the king of stereotypers, but anyhow, yeah, I would steer it back that way if police officers worked for me, clean and presentable. Um, and another thing that I would address is the gang mentality of the police, and you know, never rat on a brother officer, and like, you know, things like that, and the thin blue line, the code of silence. Those are only things you see like in organized crime and gangs and things like that. And if you don't think they stick together, just try them. You just try them. And that they even desecrate the American flag with a thin blue line through it, and you know, that's letting you know right there. I mean, it may be desecrating the flag, but I've never seen a more fair representation of something in my entire life. The thin blue line, keeping America divided. You know, you can say that all of that is, you can say, oh no, that's different. These are policemen we're talking about, you know, but in the end, you know, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, you know, it's a motherfucking duck. Also, I'll be doing some shows on things that I'm not sure every American knows, but they should be, they should know it, and probably should be teaching it in schools so that our kids will have something that helps them for the real world, and not just hammering into them, you know, about police officer good, trust, friend, you know, because they're not all that way. And in fact, around here, a lot of them play that game. It's just a little game they play, like children in high school. All right, I think I should wrap it up for now. And but before I go, I want to give respect out to all the other auditors across America exposing these petty tyrants every day. That's how many there are. I mean, there are countless channels on the internet. And you can see, you never see the same cop hardly more than once or twice. But that's how rampant this is. All across America. You got little kings and queens and princes and princesses, and right down to lords and ladies and all their the people they keep their property, you know, keep that over here, and then their money makers towing business, the money they get off of that, well, that's over here. You know, it's like a shell game. Like that card game you see in the big city. Only the guy with the cards ever wins anything on that. That's a straight out hustle. And that's what they got going on here. we'll be doing a show on how they been taking property from folks, or at least threatening to. I know of at least one occasion they've done both. But I digress again. Please like and subscribe on my channel here. I'm going to try to post a case update or a show or something like that at least once a week. And I welcome all comments, and I will try to reply to all comments. Excuse me. Almost made it through. If I knew a little bit more about editing, I would edit that out. Gosh, I hope it don't sound awful. Anyway, thank y'all. Come go with us.